Greetings and welcome to the Prime Directive. This episode was written and directed by Seth MacFarlane, and it's about two important things: Claire and Isaac's relationship and the development of it, and Bortus' sweet stash. Now I know it's a running joke, but I think the stash is glorious. This was another heavy character episode, which might upset some, but I thought the episode was great. It did remind me of a joke, though, that Chris made last week in an outtake where I screwed up and said Season 5 instead of Episode 5, and we started going on about an imaginary Season 5. At one point, Chris said that they just start repeating episodes of Trek now, of which I felt a lot of this was from another episode.
You are fully functional, aren't you?
Of course, but...
How fully?
In every way, of course.
Common Trek comparisons people might jump to are Tasha Yar because they hooked up, but when Tasha was gone, there was some point later where Data's programming started to miss her, which is mirrored by Isaac when he starts making mistakes on the bridge, and Ned has to tell him why.
She's gotten under your skin.
I do not have skin.
Your various programs are used to her, and it turns out she's not so easy to just delete.
But let's not forget, Data literally dated Jenna DeSora in Patrick Stewart's first directed episode, In Theory. He runs around talking to his friends and shipmates, getting advice, bringing her flowers for their first date, even has a fight with phrases that don't apply just to create conflict for another goal.
You don't tell me how to behave. You're not my mother.
What?
You are not my mother. That is the appropriate response for your statement that I am behaving foolishly.
Data, I think you should just leave.
Both episodes start out with a concert for the crew. Both ships are doing a survey, romantic dinners, downloading programs for the relationship. You get the point, and both episodes are good, but damn, is it like watching a slightly different, updated version 28 years later. All that said, let's run through the episode. It starts, in all its glory, with Bortus' mustache. And it doesn't take Ed long to realize Gordon's the one that put him up to it. Even Klyden complains about it, which kind of actually reminds me of Insurrection when Troy didn't like Riker's beard because kissing it was weird. It just takes some time to get used to.
Anything's possible. Yuck!
Yuck!
I never kissed you with a beard before.
I kiss you and you say yuck?
Claire keeps getting comforting feelings from Isaac, whether it's noticing the subtle changes in her hair, taking care of her children, or bringing her a banana that she need not fear. Isaac goes to John because why wouldn't you for advice before taking her to the symphony in a shuttle bay. The stars are a sweet background, but what if the system failure occurs and the shields come down? Everybody gets sucked into space. Mark Graham plays the conductor, which is fitting because he conducts the music on the show and many others. The two of them go to the simulators. Isaac has recreated Claire's favorite restaurant. He's also downloaded everything he needs to know about her, which kind of kills the spontaneity of getting to know your date. I love Ed's line on the bridge when Isaac's talking about the date.
What information do you require?
Did you have fun? Were there sparks?
Sparks?
Yeah.
Negative. There was no equipment malfunction.
Well, you don't have to brag about it.
When Isaac takes advice too literally, it puts up some roadblocks for Claire, but she's crazy. Who doesn't like surprise cake at 3 a.m.? To understand his mistake, though, he goes to find John, who's in the bowling alley with Gordon, and the lovely Ensign Turco. 2 episodes in a row for her. John clues in on one of Claire's needs Isaac can't satisfy, and comes up with a brilliant plan. When Claire heads to Simulator 2 after receiving a message, we see real Isaac. Mark Jackson gets to play the character outside of the costume. I thought that was cool, and apparently so did Claire, as she moves pretty fast and calls for the bed.
If you wish, you may kiss me again.
Simulate quarters. Finn, Dr. Claire, Jay.
Damn, Claire does move fast. Now I don't feel that Yaphet swallowing her is really the cause of outside forces. Claire goes to gossip with the girls, and Talla seems accepted pretty quickly. I would have liked to see Kelly make a bit of an effort to bond with her, rather than them just suddenly becoming girlfriends. In that aspect, it kind of feels like an Alara substitute, like this friendship wasn't actually earned. She's just there, so she's filling in for her. Isaac asks John how they end a relationship because the experiment has run its course. The jokes were pretty stereotyped, but still hilarious coming from Isaac.
Is that underwear?
Affirmative.
I thought we were going out tonight. I was looking forward to trying that butter cake at Muska's.
The last thing you need is more dessert.
Excuse me?
As I am incapable of stuttering, I must conclude that you heard me.
When Isaac breaks from his plan to see if he was successful, Claire figures out what he was doing, and she has the option there to explain to him that their relationships are more than just a hookup, that there are other things to learn. But Nah, she's upset. I mean, she has every right to be, but you're into the relationship with the machine. She should have been prepared for these things. We get to see Yaphet, which means Claire is going to the simulator to drink and not the actual bar. Pretty awesome seeing Norm Macdonald, though.
I'm on your side. I always knew Isaac was a scumbag. Only had one thing on his mind, that guy. You're better off without him.
Yeah, I just wish someone had told me that before.
He was like one of the best Weekend Update guys for Saturday Night Live, and the hilarity of what worked for Isaac would work for Yaphet in Yaphet's mind. Classic Yaphet. Next, his ship flies past a white dwarf and a red dwarf star, and as they're doing a survey, because, you know, the crew has to have something to do in this episode. Isaac miscalculates a number, which is something he never does, so he goes to analyze the problem. Ed visits and we get the whole Claire's absence has caused deviations in the patterns affecting his programs.
There is one part of the relationship experience that you haven't yet tackled.
Please elaborate.
You screwed up, and now you have to win back the girl.
Ed pushes Isaac to win her back, and Bortus loses his glorious stash. A sad day for all. Isaac does do a great job winning her back, and the rain is romantic and very dramatic, but it can't be good for the consoles, nor the carpet.
We are, without a doubt, the weirdest ship in the fleet.
In the end, even Star Trek rehashes some of its storylines. Some people will tell you that you can only tell so many stories about a ship in space. I don't agree with that. I think you can tell a lot of stories. But Seth's gonna step over that with his series once in a while. It's bound to happen. And this episode did a great deal of development for these characters, which just gets us more invested in them as viewers, which is something which Star Trek Discovery would do, rather than just expect us to care about their characters when it's unearned. It's nice to have a happy ending, and it seems like that means we're going to get Isaac out of the costume more, which is great for the actor. If you think of this as one big family, and many of them have worked with Seth before, so they have a bond, he's doing them a great service with episodes like this, allowing the actors to showcase themselves outside of their normal look, which advertises them to other industries and creates more opportunity for them to get work. And yeah, the Trek comparisons were heavy in this episode, but imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and this show is a love letter to classic Trek.
Lieutenant Malloy has informed me that I would look pretty good with a mustache.
I don't think they're hiding that. It's made for people who want an optimistic view of the future, and they sprinkle in the humor to attract the people that might not be into sci-fi. And the more and more it builds, I think it's going to get more and more appreciated. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and as always, thanks for watching.